People who have been watching the channel for a while are going to recognize this motor.
Yeah.
But we tore this down in July of last year, and it was a pretty sorry rebuild that the customer had gotten on this thing.
Yeah.
Old
worn out motor, and everything was machined wrong. That's all there was to it.
Yeah. So we ended up doing a 383 for the customer.
For what he wanted, I don't think this engine would have ever done that, and it was so far gone, it just wasn't worth the cost to fix it for him.
Yeah. I mean, already 60 over, and not a good 60 over at that. The keyway on the crankshaft worn out.
You know, sprocket was loose on there. The heads are rough as can be. They've had valve guides put in. They're worn out again.
It's been sitting here in our shop. I mean, just needed to go in the scrap, but kind of couldn't let go of it.
I just really having a, despite how bad this thing is, I'm just really having a hard time throwing away a 327 block and camel hump heads, because when I was a kid, I mean, I'd have given anything to have a set of camel hump heads for my car. that was cool stuff back then.
So we just wrapped up that 235, and I think kind of the nostalgia of that got us kind of interested in getting this thing going again. So I think today what we need to do is re-tear down. I mean, we just basically have the heads on here and the crank bolted in.
We just one bolt on each side.
So we just need to get this thing ready to go in the oven here. But when we started talking about doing this, I said, let's put some really nice parts in this thing and make it, you know, kind of have some fun with it.
But that's not the 327 I remember. This, what you see here,
is
what I want to have for an engine when we're done. I want the original block and the original heads.
That's
and everything
fine.
to look like it's supposed to be.
We can make it look like it's supposed to be, but I think that we're going to do some fun. I think we're going to have some fun on the inside of this, because we already got to get a new crank. We got to get rods. So we ordered up some new parts here. We've got some top hat sleeves, because this thing is going to have all 8 cylinders sleeved.
Right.
So that was kind of, I mean, you were on board with that.
This kind of experiment for us, I want to try out these top hat sleeves in a block like this, see how they work.
I think it's going to work good. The crankshafts were going to be kind of hard to find. We probably have a stock crank out in the shed, but
they look deep enough.
I thought, let's get something aftermarket. So we have this scary looking thing. It's super lightweight, and it's actually, I think it's a 100 thousandths longer stroke than this engine would have originally had. Uses a 6-inch connecting rod that is actually a Honda rod journal. So it's normal small block Chevy wrist pin on this end, but this journal size you can see is even smaller than this had originally, and it's actually like a Honda, some kind of Honda connecting rod size.
Yeah, going a little bit smaller, that must be how they gain the extra stroke on this.
Yep.
Over what stock 327 would have been.
No idea if it's going to work. I think we'll do a roller cam. We'll make the heads super nice. We'll do the, you know, we're not going to go crazy on the cam, but we'll do a nice roller setup.
We can put 202 intake valves in this, the 1.6 exhaust. We'll put some screw-in studs and guide plates on it.
Kind of do a mix of your old school performance and...
Yeah, and when we get done, hopefully it looks pretty much like a original 327 on the outside. Of course, we'll probably have an aluminum intake on it anyway. Are we going to fuel inject this thing?
We'll see.
See when we get there?
We'll see when we get there, but maybe, I mean, this is probably going to end up getting sold when we're done with it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't think we have anything of our own we want to put it in right now, do we?
No, but we could, maybe we'll find something or we'll sell it, but I think this will be a fun build series to make the boomer happy and maybe make the zillennial happy and me. And anyway, let's get to it. This is going to be cool. These are some nice parts.
Yeah, I got a text from your sister, our bookkeeper, telling me about all the money you've been racking up on the company credit card buying parts for this thing.
You know, I've heard Mom tell a story about when you two first got together and the massive whiteboard you had of every single debt you had and who you had to pay and when you had to pay them, and there was no money to pay them.
Yeah, there was no money to pay. I don't even want to think about that anymore.
Obviously, it stressed the cleaning guy out just even mentioning the time of his life when he was trying to crawl back out of debt from starting this business. And we don't want you guys to have to go through that same level of stress. And that's why this video is sponsored by PDS Debt.
PDS Debt provides options to consolidate your debts into one low monthly payment
so that you don't have to have a giant whiteboard in your house keeping track of who you owe, how much you owe them, when those payments are due, and how much interest you're racking up. Everyone with $10,000 or more of eligible debt qualifies, and there's no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair credit are accepted. I know you're thinking it might sound too good to be true, or maybe you're just thinking you're so far in over your head that there's no point even trying to climb out. Chances are you may have made payment after payment, and it just seems like those balances aren't going down, so you might be a little bit skeptical when somebody reaches out their hand to help you live debt-free. But that's where PDS Debt can help. They're a top-rated company on Google, they have an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau, and they're sponsoring this video to reach out a helping hand to pull you out of the hole that the system wants to keep you in. Right now, PDS Debt is offering a free debt analysis to our viewers, and it only takes 30 seconds. So head on over to pdsdebt.com/jimsmachine to get your free debt assessment today. As much as I'm giving my dad a hard time right now, I know that was